Good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Center, First Church of Religious Science here in New York City. Welcome to all of you who are here on Zoom, those of you who are joining in on Facebook, Insta, YouTube, however you're connecting with us. I'm glad you're with us today. When I was thinking of titles for this lesson, somehow this week I wound up listening to an old tune, an old song from the Rolling Stones, which was "You Can't Always Get What You Want, but if you try it, sometimes you might find that you get what you need." And at this point in life, most of us know exactly what that song is saying, because somewhere along the way, most of us have come to realize that we don't always get what we want. But sometimes, maybe even most of the time, we understand now that we get what we need. Louise Hay, former minister here, student here, said simply, trust the process of life. Trust the process of life. I've been repeating that line for many years. And it's not just a nice affirmation, it's a truth. It's something you can do. You can say to yourself, I trust the process of life, because life doesn't always unfold the way we planned. The relationship that we're in, the relationships you've had have sometimes ended. The jobs have fallen through. The door we wanted to be open closed. And sometimes it's very confusing or it's heartbreaking because you're doing your spiritual work and things don't seem like they're working for you. But what if the very thing that didn't go the way you wanted was actually the thing that opened you up to something greater? What if the no that you got was actually, I'll say, God doing for you what you really couldn't do for yourself at the time? What if that no was actually a form of grace? One of my great teachers was Dr. Bill, at least one of my favorites, and he used to say, life is like a schoolhouse, and we're spiritual beings. We come into this world, and we're here to learn. We're here to learn a lot. We're here to grow. We're here to expand. We're here to evolve our consciousness. And every experience, every single experience, even the tough ones, and perhaps especially the tough ones, are part of the curriculum. Sometimes they come wrapped in beautiful paper. Sometimes they show up like a knock at the door that we weren't expecting. But the lesson is always for us. It's never there to hurt us. And every experience that we go through, nothing is wasted. Not the detours we had to take, not the heartbreaks, not where we got the hard no for an answer, not even the times where we fell flat down. Life uses every single bit of it to grow us. And if we're willing, if we're really willing, we can let those experiences expand us, grow us, evolve us, instead of shrink us. We don't want to be defeated by the things that happen. I remember from the Course in Miracles, it takes great wisdom to understand that all events, circumstances, and happenings are helpful. So that's the way I do it. That's the way I've been doing it for a long, long time now. I understand that the conditions in our life don't have consciousness, right? We have consciousness. So we draw things to us, but we have the ability to look at it a different way, to see it a different way, and allow those experiences to grow us. Let me bring in Ernest Holmes for a second, because this is the metaphysical point of the whole thing. Ernest taught us that we're not puppets being yanked around by fate. We're not being toyed with. We are actually co-creators. We're partners with the infinite. And every belief we hold, every word we speak, is like a seed that's tossed into the garden of reality. If you're going to plant fear, and you'll be growing weeds. If you're planting faith, if you keep planting faith, if you keep practicing positive expectancy, watch the flowers bloom. Now, I've seen this play out over and over again, sometimes in really big ways, sometimes in subtle ways. There was a time years ago where I missed the flight. I actually sat there in the lounge, saw the plane just flying right before me. and I was really distressed. But the thing that was interesting was that missed flight turned into me sitting next to someone who completely shifted my direction, someone really important in my life. So sometimes interruptions, chance meetings, some of these things can be life-changing in a good way. Or for many of us, there may have been a job that you didn't get, or the doorway, when you didn't get the job, it became a doorway to something better, something more aligned, something more for you. You see, it's not always about wishing for things, hoping for things, doing more. A lot of times it's about trusting the process of life and aligning yourself. When something doesn't show up, you can say to yourself, okay, this or something better. See, that's trusting the process of life. That goes into my little theme for today. You don't always get what you want, but you will get what you need. So trusting that process, trusting that it's working out for your greater good always. So sometimes, quite often, actually throughout my life at least, life is going to reroute you. So that's when you want to really trust. Know that you're supplied and supported. So I want to do something together right now, just a little tiny exercise. So no matter if you're sitting in your couch or your chair, wherever you are, I want you to imagine, this is called drop the rock exercise. You've probably heard it before. So I want you to try this with me, this drop the rock exercise. If you can, I'd like you to hold your hands, palm up, or you can imagine yourself doing it. It'll be equally effective. And then pick one heavy belief, one rock, something old, something that's been on your mind. Maybe it's somebody you need to forgive. Maybe it's maybe you got to forgive. You need to forgive yourself. Some resentment, some old story, a fear, a reoccurring idea, whatever it is, hold it. So it feels heavy. Might just be a story that you've failed in some way, or some idea that you're not okay, not enough. And whatever you're holding that's starting to feel heavy, give it a name. You say, I haven't loved myself very much. I haven't been, whatever it is, give it a name, and then silently say to yourself, as you're holding this in your hands, when you're almost ready to let it go, whatever it is, turn your palms down and let it drop. Let it drop right into the river of life, right into the stream that will carry it away. And then feel the weight of whatever it is that you've been holding or carrying. Feel the shift. That's what we're doing here today. That's what we do here most every Sunday. Never blaming, not revisiting and reliving the past to point fingers. We gather here to remember and to reclaim our power, to remember that we're sons and daughters of life, that we're a part of this divine energy, that we are inlets and outlets of divine power. We're here to remember that there is power for good in the universe, and we can use it. We are using it, thought by thought, breath by breath. And here's the spiritual truth. You're not the victim of anything. You're not the victim of the world you see. You and I, we are conscious creators, or you might prefer to think of conscious co-creators. You are a chooser. You are the one who gets to say, I choose again, or I release the need to see it this way. I choose again. So we can definitely let go of the past. We can let go of yesterday. We can let go of everything and anything, like a heavy coat or garment that no longer fits. You can unhook yourself from pain that has outlived its usefulness. And most of all, you can remember what's always been true. The truth is you are one with love. You have always been loved, even when it didn't feel like you were loved, even when no one said the words out loud, even when the world seemed cold or the world seemed indifferent. You were loved then also. You're loved now. And at your core, you are love itself, pure, infinite, unstoppable. And here's the thing, we have all lived long enough to know we don't get what we want all the time. And that's not me being cynical, it's just truth. Again, there are dreams that don't materialize, jobs that don't work out well, as I think I said before, relationships that painfully have fallen apart. And some of us have poured ourselves into people who couldn't or wouldn't pour themselves back. We've nurtured hope that bent under the weight of storms that we never saw coming. And somewhere in the midst of all of this, there's been suffering, there's been loss and confusion. Sometimes a negative story starts forming. And this is where we really need to be careful. Because when things aren't working out the way we want, sometimes what creeps in are ideas. Maybe I deserve this punishment. Maybe I'm not worthy. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I can't get this. This doesn't work. Or maybe I've missed my chance. Too late. And quickly, if we buy into those false ideas, we're not even living in the moment anymore. It's kind of like we grabbed onto that hook that I sometimes talk about. None of that stuff is true. So we want to become the guardian at the gate. As soon as we find ourselves going in those directions, cancel, tell yourself cancel, and change the thought, replace the thought. Because when we're doing that, we're living inside of a story, we're living inside of an untruth, a false idea, a negative filter. We're living in a fog of doubt, and that starts to color everything. But here's what we want to do. We want to finally understand that the story, those whispers of lack and limitation, those grievances, none of it's good, none of it's true. So let's think about today, some of the things that didn't work out. What if when that happened, what if not getting what we wanted wasn't punishment? Think about the times when things didn't work out. What if we realized it wasn't a punishment, it wasn't a failure, it wasn't evidence that you were behind? What if this was the universe stepping in? What if you could see it as protection? What if you could see it as you were being supplied and supported in ways you didn't even understand? Maybe you could see it as a course correction from something higher, a higher power, an inner power, a course correction not to deprive you, but to prepare you, to expand you, to stretch your heart, to clear out what doesn't fit or wasn't needed, so something truer and something better could finally land. I want to tell you a quick story about someone I knew. We'll call her Diane. She spent about 10 years working, climbing the ladder at a company where she got to one of the top positions. And she thought, she was sure she would retire from that place, that she was nearly running it. She was loyal. She was excellent. She showed up early. She stayed late. And then one evening, or actually it was one morning, without warning, they let her go. They let a lot of people go. The company downsized. No warning, no fanfare. It was just over, gone. And Diane was completely upset. She was devastated because she needed that job to pay her bills. She couldn't afford to live on unemployment. And over the next few days, she got really filled with self-doubt and worry. And she was pacing around her apartment, late into the night, wondering who she was without that job, because that job was everything to her. But here's the good news. Within a year, approximately, she had opened up her own business. It was a small business, but she had all the right experience for the business. She at last was making her own decisions, working really hard, but doing something that was for her own growth, would be her company. And she started getting happy. She started glowing again, from the inside out, buzzing with that kind of energy that she hadn't felt in a long time. And by the end of the first year, she was making almost as much money as she was in the big corporate job. But the thing is, she was happier. She had a brighter future. And most importantly, she was doing something that actually excited her. And one day, She had a conversation with me over coffee, and she looked me in the eye and she said, you know, I had lots of ups and downs this year. I can promise you. She said, but I want you to know if I had gotten what I wanted back then, I'd be sitting under those fluorescent lights still, pretending to be happy, trying to keep everybody happy, when I was killing myself to please, you know, I guess it was her supervisors. So I'm sure everybody can get a sense of that, where the moment you've had times where in hindsight you can see whatever you went through has brought you to a better place. It might have been the breakup, it might have been anything, and it wasn't fun. But you can look back now and you can see from the Celestine Prophecy, that's a book where they say that's taking the long view. You know, from a distance you can see this, there was the hand of the divine in that activity, though it certainly didn't seem like that at the time. So I'm betting some of you are able to look at your life now and see some of these times as truly, in the end, a gift to you, something that one time felt like it was a loss. You can think of it as the door that slammed shut in your life, and now looking back, you can know for yourself, you can whisper to yourself, thank you, thank you. So regarding the song that was the inspiration for this lesson, Mick Jagger wasn't just being clever with those words. With that song, he was telling the truth that you can't always get what you want. But if you stay open, if you stay connected, if you stay awake, and if you keep trusting, you might just find that you get what you need. In fact, you're probably going to find that you get something much better than you ever conceived for yourself, something that may fit you more truthfully. It may bring out of you a part of you that you never would have discovered otherwise, because whatever it was caused you to grow quite a bit. A Course in Miracles makes a profound statement. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of anything, really. So try to let that settle in. That's a line I've pondered many years. That's not a bumper sticker. That's a spiritual bombshell, really. Because what it means when you realize you're not a victim of anything, it means you're not powerless. You're not at the mercy of fate. You're not at the mercy of bad luck. You're not defined by what didn't work out at all. You are the creator of your own life. You're the one who gets to choose and choose again. You can start fresh. You can start today. You can start mid-sentence, mid-decade, in the middle of your life. You're allowed to rewrite the story, and you're allowed also to say, this chapter is over. Another friend of mine would say, she's a judge, she used to say, the final chapter has not been written. So you can say this chapter, whatever it is, or whatever it was, is over. And I'm in a new moment. The final chapter has not been written. The point of power is with me. So then the new one begins now. So we're in a new moment. And thinking about that, being in a new moment, is there anything you're ready now in this new moment to claim? Maybe it's more prosperity. Or is there anything you want to release? Because the life you imagined before might look different now. I'm sure it does. The life you imagined before, it doesn't mean it's over, but it might be different. It might be more expansive. It might be more real, different than anything you had imagined before. So as you ask these questions, notice if anything comes up for you. All of these talks are about remembering who you are. You're one with this one energy. What you are, you're an individualization of this power. And remembering where your power lives. Your power lives within you. It lives within your awareness of it, with your sense of connection to it, knowing that you are one with the one. You have all the power you're ever going to need. You are the whole bit. And through that understanding and with that connection, it lives in your willingness to create something new right now, something better for you. When you're feeling connected, you can flip any old idea, you can turn it on its head. You can go from why me, which is a victim question, You can flip that to a creative question, which is, what's now? So you can see the difference in the energy. Why me and poor me? You can turn it around to, okay, what's next? What exciting opportunity is here for me? What's possible now? Or what's mine to do with what's here now? Those are energetic statements that are positive and questions. So let's ground all this in for a second. If you could wave that wand, and you know that your word is your wand right here and today, what's the one thing you'd call into your life? For some, it'll be more love. Others, more peace, greater clarity, joy, lots of joy. Maybe a new start, a clean slate. Whatever that image is for you, what would you like to create and bring into your life right now? Hold that image in your heart for a moment. Feel it. Let it rise. Let it glow. Because the life you're living may not look like the dream you once carried close, the one that you held like a lantern in the dark, the one that you thought would guide you to forever. But this life still is exciting, and this is your life. It's still alive and filled with possibilities. It's still ready to be shaped by the power within you. And you, yes, you, are allowed to rewrite the story and hitch your wagon to the stars. Let it be a great story. Even now, doesn't matter if you're 40 or you're 80 or beyond. The point of power is right here, right now, and you're allowed to say, whatever story it was before, it no longer defines me. I release it, I have outgrown it, and I'm writing something new right now. And the old aches, the old losses, you can lay them down now. You can drop the rock, as we did before. You can just, wherever they are, I release you. I thank you for what you taught me. I release you. And I'm going to, the stuff I'm holding that's weighing me down, I'm going to turn it over and let it go into the stream of life. You can lay it down. The shame that creeps in that's uninvited, you can send it packing. The idea that you have to wait and wait for someone else to fix you or save you, to validate you or to finally choose you, none of that's the truth either. Because here's the real deal. You've already been chosen by life. Yes, you are an individualization of the spectacular life. You are more spectacular than you could ever imagine. You've been chosen by that same creative intelligence that sets the galaxies in motion and that still beats in your heart today. You're already enough. You're amazing. You come fully equipped, already capable of healing, rebuilding, starting fresh. And when you're ready to know that, really know that, something shifts. A new way is going to open for you. A higher road will reveal itself. It's always there, wooing you, inside you. And that road is there waiting for you to walk it. That's what Ralph Waldo Emerson said. That's what he was talking about when he was suggesting hitch your wagon to a star, to big ideas. He wasn't talking about escaping from reality. He was inviting us all to lift ourselves up to a higher place and to stop hauling around baggage of old regrets and stop being linked and tethered to all that stuff. Set our sights on something higher, a deeper truth, a clearer light. This all reminds me of I was somewhere in my thinking for this lesson, that old movie, Auntie Mame. If you've seen it, you know the line. She said, life is a banquet, and most poor fools are starving to death. Of course, I toned down her line. But so understand, life is for us. There's unlimited good there for us to experience. If we're starving at the banquet of life, it's not because the good isn't available. The good is available to every one of us. So how many of us have been nibbling around the edges of life, accepting very little, settling for crumbs, believing that we had to do something to earn our seat at the table? Now, I know most of us have done some of this. So the goal here is to change that, to completely change that around. Let's stop shrinking. Let's begin to feast. on the good that's here. That'll start by knowing that the good is here, that you're an inlet and outlet of that good. And to know that you're not broken, to know that you are evolving, you're evoluting. You lack nothing. You are not a faint echo of someone else's opinion either. You're not the role that you played to feel safe in your life. What you are is a spark of the infinite. You are a creative force of spirit itself. You're crackling with potential. Again, you're the author. You have your pen in hand, or you're the artist, brush ready. You're the architect, blueprinting what comes next with bold lines and open spaces. So take this moment, this very one, and claim it. Claim the life, imagine it, and claim the life that's calling you forward. Claim it unapologetically, unashamed. Know that you are unstoppable, because when the fog of doubt rolls in, when life doesn't go the way you planned, you always have a choice. You can become the lighthouse, and you can stand steady while the winds howl and the waves crash. You can shine. Just keep on telling yourself, I'm supplied and supported. You can shine. You don't have to flicker. You can shine. You are woven from the same fabric as the stars. You are a living, breathing reminder that wholeness isn't granted, it's remembered. You don't need to retell your old stories, your old pain to prove it happened. You don't need to keep talking about what happened just to be seen in the world. Spirit already sees you right now with all the things you've judged about yourself, with all the things you've tried to hide, with all the beauty that's still in you and always was. You're still worthy of love. And when you start to see yourself that way, when you let Spirit look through your eyes, even for a second, everything will lift. You rise, not by effort, not by force, but by truth, because truth always rises. And you're the living, walking, wide awake expression of that truth. You're not a puzzle to fix. You're not a glitch to repair. You're not too late. You're not too broken. You are the light that was never lost, just momentarily dimmed perhaps by clouds that have already passed. So if that question has been hovering around you, is it too late? Can I really start fresh? The answer is very simple. Yes, yes, yes. You can begin again. You can trust this moment. Yes, you can say, I choose again, right now. Not someday, not when it's perfect, not after you've earned it. Right now, I'm willing. And if you're willing, even a little, life is going to meet you more than halfway. It'll be like a tide that will rush in and carry you home. So let's close this lesson with an affirmative prayer. So I speak the word today, do it for myself, for you, and for every heart listening across this time and space in our beautiful gathering. I recognize the presence of Spirit here, now, and always. It is the creative intelligence that breathes galaxies into motion and lives in me, as me, through me. It is ready, it's true, it is all that I am. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I am the instrument of a higher order. I am the vessel of divine light overflowing. Right here, in this breath, I remember the power that raised the sun. The power that raised the sun this morning also raises me. The love that holds the oceans in place holds me too. I am free, utterly, joyfully free. I let go of every story that whispered, I'm not enough. I release it with love. I watch it dissolve like the mist in the morning. I melt away every echo of unworthiness, every shadow of doubt. I rise tall, I rise rooted, I rise alive. I welcome this new chapter with open hands and a soft heart, not with fear, but with faith, not with shame. I say yes to life, yes to joy, yes to peace, yes to the deeper truth of who I am. I know Spirit uses me, flows through me. I'm ready, willing, I'm here. And so it is. So, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to our Zoom gathering. Now it's time for us to turn the cameras over to I'm glad you're with us. I appreciate everything that everyone does. We get all of your messages. This is the time where we turn the cameras over to you. Please share anything that came up for you during the lesson, any of your thoughts, moments of inspiration. Let us know if you're new, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.